Jets Ward.
Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? And welcome back to another episode of the Jets Ward. I am your host, Ryan Ward, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys. I got a fun one for you guys in this video. But first, if you have been here before, welcome back. You know I love having you guys here in the Jets Ward. No matter if you're a Jets fan or not, you are always welcome here. And if you are new here, welcome. Whether you're a Jets fan, a fan of another team, or just a casual NFL fan, you are always welcome here in the Jets Ward. It is a safe space for you. But guys, in this video, what I wanted to talk to you guys about is ways the Jets, in my opinion, could improve. And players out there either on the open market or not even really on the open market, but a player I think that they could trade for to help them out. And players on the free agent market. I feel like some players could help this Jets team out that are still available. And I want to talk to you about a player that the Jets signed today as well. So, getting into it, as we know, the New York Jets are 0-2. They got beaten a heartbreaker week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. And last week, or this past Sunday, they got pummeled by the Buffalo Bills at home, which just left a lot of Jets fans really down on this team. So there's a lot of holes that I think could need to be filled still. We could talk about the wide receiver 2 market. We could talk about the defensive line, the run defense was a big issue. Pass defense has been a big issue as well. And at this point too, the Jets secondary has taken a beating with some injuries. Tony Adams has been dealing with some injuries. Andre Cisco got dinged up in the game. Michael Carter II was hurt during the Buffalo Bills game. And we've been really taking some hits in the defensive backs core and just in general in this defense. So I have ideas about players that I think the Jets should bring in to help this team out. And a signing today that I think is actually pretty solid. So let's get into the first thing. The New York Jets signed cornerback, defensive back, Nik Needham. He's been a pro for the 6 years in the NFL at this point. They signed him on to the practice squad off of the Cleveland Browns practice squad. He spent his whole career really with the Miami Dolphins, was signed with the Browns this offseason, and was put on their practice squad. He's a 6-year pro and has had some success as a cornerback. And that's somewhere the Jets, I think, could definitely improve. Brandon Stephens has not been great. Could we get a quick look at Quantez Stiggers at some point? Right, A.Z. Thomas, Isaiah Oliver's still there as well. But Nik Needham has shown flashes of being a solid cover cornerback, which I think could fit this defense pretty well. And he can play safety as well and special teams. So Jets bring him in, sign him to the practice squad. Overall, I think it's a solid move by the New York Jets and very happy with this. But I still think there are more moves to be made. And some of these moves you might agree with, some you might not. And the first place I want to target is the defensive line. And the first player that I want to mention is a guy who's still a free agent, Christian Wilkins. And I have him here as defensive tackle, but I think he could also play D-end. He is a solid pass rusher and can move very well for his size. Now, the Raiders cut him this offseason because there was a lot of issues going on in that locker room. And a lot of weirdness going on apparently with him and some of the players in that locker room. So he's been a free agent, but when he's healthy, he is a legit defensive threat, in my opinion. One of the better defensive tackles who I also think has the quickness to bump out to defensive end as well and cause havoc out there. So I would bring Christian Wilkins as an interior/edge rushing presence for this New York Jets team, which I think they definitely could use, especially since Jermaine Johnson has been dealing with some injuries as well, an ankle injury this past week. Now, it seems like he's cleared to play, but he's also coming off a massive ACL injury or a massive injury from last year. Bringing in a player like Christian Wilkins' caliber on a 1-year prove-it deal might not be the worst idea that AG could make. I understand there's concerns, behavioral concerns, but maybe AG can get this guy ready to go. And he's still a young player. So I think the Jets could definitely utilize his strengths on the defensive side of the ball. And just imagine having him, Harrison Phillips, and Quinnen Williams on that defensive line with Will McDonald too. As another edge rushing presence, I think Christian Wilkins could fit this defense very, very well. But another player too, which is more likely to happen in anything, would be defensive end, outside linebacker Preston Smith. He played for Pittsburgh last year, and honestly, I think he could be a very, very good player. I really do. I think he could be a solid option for the New York Jets out here, and somebody who I think would make a lot of sense. He's a great run defender. He can get to the quarterback. I know he's on the older side, but on a one-year deal, Jadeveon Clowney already signed with the Cowboys. Za'Darius Smith is with the Eagles. Those are people that we Jets fans thought would make sense for the New York Jets. But Preston Smith is a name that's still underrated, and I think would fit really well and give us a more of a veteran presence on the edge on this defensive line and help us in the run game as well. So he's somebody I think the Jets would be interested in trying to target for. Now, continuing on, Isaiah Simmons. He's a guy that I really, really like as a linebacker. He could play safety. He could play linebacker. The Jets, I think McCrary Ball is great on special teams, but I don't think he's been a solid defender out there at linebacker. Francisco Mauigoa has been very inconsistent. Bring somebody like Isaiah Simmons here who is aggressive. He's fast. He can cover. He can hit. I think bringing him in would be a big upgrade for this linebacking core for the New York Jets, and I think he fits this defense very, very well. Continuing on. Now, this is a fun one. Jalen Mills, the Jets brought in a giant list of DBs today for workouts. Arthur Millette was one of them. I think that would be an interesting one. But Jalen Mills was on that list as well. Jalen Mills played with the New York Jets last year and was one of the only bright spots of our defense. Was he the best on defense? No. But he was a player that never gave up. He's a veteran who could bring stability to this locker room and to the safety room. And I think the Jets fans would love to have Jalen Mills back. He's a free agent. They worked him out today. I would love to see him come back for the green and white and give this team a little juice in that DB room. He can cover. He can hit. I think he's overall a very solid player still at this age, and somebody I would love to see the Jets bring back. Continuing on, there's another young player out there too that I think got a lot of fight in him, and that's not just because he got into a fight in the last preseason game and then I'm getting cut. Shiloh Sanders, I think, is an underrated defensive back. I think he could be very solid in this league. Just give him a chance. I don't think he's a head case. I don't think he's a locker room issue. He got along with a lot of fans over there in Tampa Bay. I think you bring him in. I think he wants to play. He wants to be on a team. And I think he can bring juice to any defense that he's on. He's not afraid to hit. He can cover pretty well. I think at either safety room or any safety position, he could be a solid player on this defense. Still very young as well. Undrafted rookie. Give him a chance, in my opinion. Continuing on. Here's a quarterback that I think fits our system very well and somebody who I think has a lot of upside in this league. Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He was on the Browns, got traded over to the Eagles, and then cut this offseason. He's still a free agent. The guy can run. He can throw the ball very well. I think he fits this type of offense. He's very much like a Justin Fields type of player. He can move around in the pocket and got a nice, strong arm as well. I think he could bring some electricity to this offense as well. Sit behind Tyrod, depending on how Justin Fields recovers from this concussion. I think bringing in more quarterback competition to this room as well. I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson could be a very, very good decision for the New York Jets. And not really a free agent, but a player who's not getting a lot of looks. Shedeur Sanders. I know a lot of Jets fans won't like this one, but he's the third-string quarterback on the Cleveland Browns behind Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel. And then when Deshaun Watson comes back, what are they going to do with him? He's going to be the starter. Sanders would be the fourth quarterback. They're not going to do anything with him. He's not even really getting that many looks at practice. So I think trading for him, sending around a late-round pick to bring him in, he's got a ton of upside and showed promise this offseason. Looked like one of the better quarterbacks on that team this training camp and offseason. Give him a look. I don't think there's any problem with that. Tyrod Taylor's injury prone as well. So imagine Tyrod Taylor starts this game this week and doesn't do anything. What happens if he gets hurt? Justin Fields can't play. He's still in concussion protocol. You rely on Brady Cook. I don't know if Brady Cook's ready. Shedeur Sanders, I think, has at least some more upside than Brady Cook. and has shown promise in these preseason games. I know the last one didn't look great, but I still think he's one of the better quarterbacks in this draft class this past year. I don't understand how he fell so far, but I think the Jets would be very interested in taking a shot. I know I would. So I think there's a lot of upside for Shedeur. And if Justin Fields doesn't work out, instead of wasting a draft pick on a quarterback this year, you have Shedeur and possibly can turn things around. I think he's got a lot of good stuff in him, and I think could make a lot of good decisions for your team. I think he's got that work ethic and everything. Bring Shedeur in, trade for him. I think he'd be very beneficial in New York, and I think he'd do really well for the New York Jets. But guys, that is all I got for you. These are the players that I think the Jets should target, could target in a trade, Shedeur. But let me know what you think. Are there any players that you think the Jets should try to go after, either on the free agent market, on the trade market? Let me know what you guys think. And again, thank you so much for joining me in the JETS Jets. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.